Dharma, everyone. How wonderful to be sitting in the company of Arjuna to receive wisdom from Lord Krishna. Bhakti Yoga is a very special teaching at the heart of the Vedic tradition. And we are looking at various verses specifically from the Bhakti Yoga, from the Bhagavad Gita right now. And today, when I'm teaching it, it happens to be a really auspicious day. Today is the 6th day of Navratri in 2024, and it's special because it's marked by Goddess Katyayani, who is said to bless our thoughts, impart us wisdom, and kindle knowledge and light within our thinking capacity. So to be studying Shastra is just a wonderful opportunity. And I included myself in studying Shastra because as long as a teacher is in a human body, we continue to learn, and we continue to learn from the original teacher in our tradition, which is the Shastra, which is the source text. And so every time I teach from it, I become blessed by it. Such is the good fortune. So nobody's ever jaded. This is not a curriculum that is flowing only one way from the teacher to the disciples or the students, but it's just continuously flowing all the way from the Ishwara, Narayana, to all of us, and continues down a chain of learners and teachers. That said, let us begin with looking at the verses. We have already looked at an important verse 30 in chapter 3, which teaches us in essence that when we perform all actions as a surrender to Ishwara, when we let go of our egotism, and we do our best, but we stop controlling the outcomes, that is a very special kind of expression of bhakti. Yes, we can offer rituals, and even in that, we were told we could offer a flower, a leaf, a teaspoon of water in reverence to the symbols of Ishvara, and every culture has those. But higher to that is a mental bhakti, which is done by becoming free of selfish desires, which only have, what are selfish desires? Which only have the tiny material self at its center. There is no other higher consideration of left and right. It's just that. So when we surrender, Krishna says, surrender those actions to me. You become free of sorrow because now you're not attached, and then you fight. What fight? Fight to achieve, fight to succeed. So surrender is not passivity. Surrender is not premature retirement from world. It is just the retirement from egotism, from control, from grasping and grabbing behavior. With this verse showing us the way, we really are preparing ourselves for even a deeper dive in Karma Yoga, which is coming up. If you are my student in the Vedic Study Circle, all of 2025, I will be exploring Karma Yoga with you. And this verse, though it is a Bhakti Yoga verse, it really is, it's both a Karma Yoga and a Bhakti Yoga verse, because Karma Yoga is the application of Bhakti Yoga. Moving forward, let's look at another verse from chapter 4, verse 11. And let us look at what Bhagwan is another term for Ishvara, says. Bhagavan uvacha ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanuvartante manushya partha sarvashah. And then in this verse, we get this reassurance from Krishna, from Lord Krishna, from Ishwara as Krishna, that look here, in whatever way you want to surrender, because we had looked at a verse which says, go ahead and surrender. Well, in whatever way you surrender, I shall reciprocate accordingly. So everyone follows my path, says Bhagavan, knowingly or unknowingly. So he's addressing Arjuna, which is son of Pritha. Arjuna's mother was Pritha. He says, in whatever way people surrender. What does that mean? This really brings inclusiveness into the Gita's teachings by Krishna. And so it doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to have a certain cultural, religious insignia for bhakti to happen. Because in whatever way we approach Ishvara with surrender, well, we are met that way. And from that perspective, those who deny Ishvara, those who are proud to be atheists or agnostics, and they say, well, there is no God, there is no spirituality, there is definitely, I have nothing to do with these teachings of Krishna. Who is this God? I don't know. So if that is spoken like that, if that is the people's belief, it's okay. Ishvara meets them there also. And what does Ishvara say? Well, you know what? If people don't want to connect with my spiritual energy, Ishvara, which is an all-pervading energy, if they do not want to acknowledge, as you are all doing, as I am doing, and connecting with my spiritual energy, then they can connect with my material energy. And what is my material energy? This world. This world is my material energy. This Maya is my material energy. And all the good, bad, ugly, lovely that they encounter in the world is also my material energy. And all the, sometimes when they do the right things, they surrender and they're not controlling, and some good things come their way, ease comes their way. That is also, they are part of that law of give and receive. Or every action has an equal and opposite reaction. These are all laws of nature. What are these laws? These are laws of Ishvara. You do good, good is undone unto you. As you reap, so you shall sow. This is all. You don't need to have a belief in Ishvara or an understanding of Bhakti Yoga. These things are happening. And it is said that you can get away with crime for a long, long time, but the hands of law are very long and they come find you, don't they? So the thing is that there is a material energy too with cause and effect, cause and effect. And those who are honest in it, they may be atheist, but they are honest. They may be agnostic, but they are ethical. Well, they get those benefits from being ethical and honest and transparent. So it doesn't matter whether people are in materialistic world or spiritual world. The fact is, Ishvara says that I meet them, I dole out the same benefits. And those who are in sway of their ego and they are into prestige and anger and lust and control and greed and hoarding and manipulation and deceit, well, then they are also met with the law of karma, and it accumulates, and it is doled out to them also. So find me as the law of karma, as the laws of causation and effect in this universe, or you can come to me through bhakti, selflessly, willingly surrendering to me. But either way, I shall be I reciprocate the way you approach me. And it's interesting that in Ramayana, we have this monkey god supporting another avatar of Ishwara, Rama. And at some point, we come across this dialogue between Rama and Hanumana, where Rama, Ishwara, is saying to Hanumana that, look here, you have performed such incredible seva, such service for me, that now I'm indebted to you forever. I shall become your slave forever. That is what Rama is saying to him. Hanuman used to think, I am Rama's servant. But now Rama is saying, I am your servant. This is showing how Ishwara, in different forms, when we meet Ishwara, we will have Ishwara's kindness and grace show up for us in different ways. So that's a reassurance to me. That's a reassurance. Now we'll move on to chapter 12, which is a really important chapter for Bhakti Yoga. And we are going to look at from verse 13 to 19, we'll keep looking, or maybe even 20th, which is just a wrap up of the chapter and this section that I'm teaching. But now we're looking at what are the traits of the Bhaktas? What are the traits? And you would think, well, the trait of the Bhakta, of someone who's studying Bhakti Yoga, is that they wear lovely malas and they have their hair tied up like a yogi. Not necessarily. Really, bhakti is an inside job, right? So here is what this amazing teacher, Krishna, tells us, this spiritual, godly teacher tells us. Bhagavan uvacha atveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara sammadukha sukhakshami. This is verse 13. Then verse 14. Santushta satatam yogi yatatma dhrida nischayah mayyarpitamano buddhi yo madbhakta same priyah. So what is this? What are we learning here? So now Bhagwan is clarifying that who are the devotees, who are the bhaktas, who are the sadhakas who are very close to me? Who do I pay more attention to? Who are under my immediate attention? The whole universe and millions of universes are in the attention of Ishwara. It is a principle, remember. It's not just a person with a limited brain. It operates through every mind and then some. And yet, Ishwara says that you become especially important to me when you are adveshta. Adveshta means, dveshti means when you have malice. But when you are without malice towards other living beings. And do a check on yourself. Do you have kindness for everyone but this person? Do you have generosity for all beings but that person? It's very important. Am I malice free? It's very important. So do you have adveshta? Dveshti means malice. Advesht means without malice. How do you become without malice? Because you realize if you are working from duality or Vishishta duality, you can say, well, a part of Ishwara is dwelling in every person, even my enemy, even the person who is challenging me, even the person who is hurting me, even the person who is making me suffer. And if you're in the non-dual perspective where I live, I think, well, Ishwara is within me and that same Ishwara is within them. We all share one divine self. So either whatever is your perspective, whatever you're ready for, if it's Ishwara we are talking about, then how can we have hatred? We can have a boundary, but not hatred. We can have separation, but not hatred. We can have clarity, but not hatred. We can have a stop sign, but not hatred. Do you understand what I'm saying? And can you fold your hands in agreement? Bring them in namaste if you agree. We can have all sorts of agreements, boundaries, clause, clarity, but not hatred. And this is an important piece to look at. And as long as we have that, then we are not really, we have to work on that. Because that's what keeps our heart bitter and in samsara. Me versus them, and that's what's feeding our ego. Advaita sarvabhutanam, all beings. Bhuta means beings, all beings. Maitri. Maitri is the next word. Do we have a sense of a friendly karuna, maitri karuna, and compassion? Do we have that? These are not just words for me. These are not words. These are instructions. This is your to-do list in bhakti. And the more we think about Ishwara, the more we remember that we are an aspect of Ishwara, or Ishwara dwells within us. The more we realize it engenders a sense of unity and a notion of friendship, right? It really does that. Because we are all children of that same God, or we are all peers with the same God within us. So we stop seeing them at least as alien. We can, or like, why do they exist? No. Or why does this politician exist and not that politician exist? What's going on? No. Whatever it is all part of Ishwara's setup. There. Now what? Now what? So when we stop seeing them as some outgrowths on humanity that shouldn't exist, when we just start seeing their humanity, their confusion, their ignorance, and even if they have malice, then how far they are from Ishvara, compassion arises in us. And one progresses on the spiritual path through this practice of compassionate friendship. Compassionate friendship. Was it Gandhi who said that dislike the crime that somebody did, do not dislike the criminal in them, because there is no permanent criminal.